240Z debuted 2 years after the Summer of Love. It tugged on the heartstrings of sports car enthusiasts. Now, some 25 years later, Nissan is trying to recapture that excitement. Here's Mark Vaughn with more.
In 1969, Woodstock was happening, man. Other men were on the moon. And the company we knew as Datsun was busy turning the sports car world on its ear. When the 240Z debuted 2 years after the Summer of Love, it created a nearly unprecedented fervor. When it came to the U.S. a year later, it ran with Corvettes and Jaguars in sports and GT car circles. Everybody had to have one. It was an excitement inspired by an exciting car, something Datsun's successor, Nissan, wishes it had right now. How do you bring back the excitement? Bring back the car, not a modern successor to the 240Z. Nissan axed the 300ZX 2 years ago, but the original 240Z. Pierre Perrott was there when it was all happening, first as a racer, and now as a guardian of Datsun heritage, charged by Nissan with recapturing the company's past glory by restoring 200 original 240Zs.
Nissan first contacted me in September of 1996, and there was an engineer who came down here, said, "We heard about your company, we heard that you do restoration, we're going to check the shop," and we talked to a lot of people on the outside. They say good thing about you, so we want to see if you can do maybe one car per month. And after that, there was a second visit, and I told them, instead of doing one car a month, well, I go to a higher number, and I'd be very pleased to strictly work for Nissan and slow down on my production for the retail.
This is one of the first factory-restored 240Zs, all done up in the original butterscotch paint scheme, or as close to original as current EPA regulations will allow.
It's powered by a completely rebuilt 2.4-liter straight six, producing 150 horsepower, just like the old days, routed through a rebuilt 4-speed manual transmission. Inside, it's 1971 all over again. It even starts with a lift of the manual choke.
I think he did a great job. I mean, it's really going back in time. It's almost like a time warp. The car has the same characteristics of a stock car. It has the same exhaust sound to it. You accelerate and it squats back a little bit like it used to. The roll of the car, the same noises, the same smells. It had a lot of things which were consistent with that time. I think he did a hell of a job.
Driving wasn't all that comfortable 26 years ago, you may remember, and a good number of vehicles built today could outpower this Z car.
It leans a bit around corners, and the rear end feels particularly floaty. But the engine and shifter feel tight, and everything else just works. A comparable restoration this thorough would cost about $35,000, 10 grand more than Nissan is charging. So at that respect, it's a relative bargain.
Of course, a 240Z in excellent condition lists at around $5,000 unrestored. And at the $24,950 sticker price you'll see at the 10 Nissan dealers across the country selling these restored classics, there are a lot of other cars you could buy that would outperform this one. But would they offer the same appeal?
Well, I think the Z car really defined Nissan's image, at least in America, as a high-performance, high-quality car, because before the Z, Nissan was just another, car company, Japanese car company, and didn't have that much history in America. And the Z actually created a history for Nissan, and a very positive history.
Hi, I'm John Morton, and this is the 240Z we've won so many races with. Now, this one's been specially modified for racing, but many of the features that make this car a champion on the racetracks also make it an excellent performer in the street.
Power, for instance. There's a 2.4-liter overhead cam engine up there, and it really moves out.
The car was amazingly unmodified. It was a very good engine, very adaptable to racing. The car that we won the championship with 2 years, 70 and 71, had stock brakes. It had a little roll bar. Still had some of the gauges in the car. Well prepared, but not very modified. It still had most of the stock suspension.
Best of all, Datsun is more than just a fine racing machine. It's a luxurious GT car with all the trimmings. After all, there's more to life than winning races.
Pierre Perrott has done a superb job restoring these classics. But what we'd really like, and what we can't possibly get from Nissan for at least another 4 years, is a successor to the 240Z. A car that is as fun to drive, as lightweight, and as relatively inexpensive as this car was 26 years ago. And that, unfortunately, is nowhere in sight. For Autoweek on Speed Vision, this is Mark Vaughn.